Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 245 South 20th Street here in St. Helens. We're located at the rear of the home here, kind of adjacent to the air conditioning unit. We have a 4-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. Transitions here to concrete pipe. It's 4-inch pipe. And we do have the start of a root intrusion here at 31 feet, as well as 32 feet, 33 feet just about, and here as well. More roots here at 47 feet. We have a large root intrusion here at 48 feet. A lot of roots in the line. And then here, it looks like we have reached the terminus at 51 feet out. I'm going to do some locates to verify where this is at exactly, and then we'll let the pipe drain out completely before reeling back. Okay, I located the camera head successfully right at the rear fence line. It's under a carport here currently. I have a white T marking the ground right where the line terminates. And we're only at 2 feet deep here. It's very shallow. We do have root intrusions essentially from the very start of the concrete all the way to the end. For that reason, I recommend a full update to the concrete section of the pipe here. And I would look into a epoxy liner as a possible repair process. The reason for that is it's basically a one-piece system and tends to hold roots out much better. We have 3 or 4 trees on property here that could potentially re-intrude a newer line, especially at the depth this line's at. It's only about 1.5 to 2 feet deep all the way out to the main connection. So that's why I would look into that repair process so you can hopefully avoid any further root intrusion in the future. Okay, right here in the flow line, it looks like we also have cracks developing in the pipe. Not that it already doesn't need a full repair, but the concrete here is deteriorating and falling apart at this point.
What?
We have another large opening here. It looks like the bottom of the pipe has separated and opened up to the ground there quite significantly. You've probably got about a 2-inch gap between the two pieces of pipe there. Okay, we've got a paint marking down here. We're at 1 foot 8 inches deep. Alright, I've got the entire line mapped out from this point out to the terminus of the line. I recommend a full replacement from at least the concrete. In fact, I kind of overmarked it here. I apologize. I'm going to push back out here and mark this T connection with the white T. Alright, from here at about 19 feet out to 51 feet, I recommend fully updating the sewer line. I'd look into both epoxy liners and trenching, see which is going to work best and be the most cost effective. And this spot here I've marked with a white T. We're about a foot deep. It is right next to the RV dump. If the markings get washed away by rain or something, it literally starts right at where the RV dump is at, and from that point out to the main. Recommend fixing. I also recommend rescoping after the repair is done to make sure it has not settled. It's a very common issue, so make sure you get it rescoped. But the entire concrete section of the line there is shot. You've got holes, cracks, roots, and the pipe walls are just about to collapse in on it. It's getting pretty old and worn. I'm going to go ahead and reel the camera out. But because that concrete section still has fairly good flow, you do have the option of probably doing an epoxy liner. But at this depth and just dealing with dirt at only a foot to 2 feet deep, you're likely going to be cheaper to dig this up. All right, we're going back into the home here. We just ran into this is the clean out inside the house. Very, very small amount of pipe going into the home. When I reel back here, near where the line exits the foundation, we have a lot of scale buildup. And at this point, I've been sloshing the camera around a whole bunch here to try and get some of that stuff to knock loose. What can happen with old cast iron, or will happen inevitably, is the flow line will wear out. And it looks like here that it's getting pretty darn close to being there. Without having the line cleaned out, it's really hard to tell. You can get a lot of scale buildup in old cast iron pipe that can be deceiving. But when I start seeing a trough like this in the pipe, it generally indicates you're getting the flow line is starting to wear thin. So you could try and jet the line out to see if you've got good pipe underneath there. At this point, though, I would recommend the cast iron portion of the line also be updated. Just looking at it here, it's looking pretty worn. But this could just be scale buildup. It's really hard to tell. But generally, once it starts to wear thin, you get a trough, which we're starting to develop here in the flow line. So for that reason, I would recommend updating the cast iron pipe, which starts just on the house side of the clean out and going back into the crawl space. There's only about, we'll measure it here, I think there's about 7 or 8 feet of cast iron pipe to deal with. But that would mean you're probably, I mean, you don't necessarily have to redo auxiliary drains, but generally, when you're already in there doing that, it's often an ideal time to get it done. Now, from the clean out back into 8 feet here, I would recommend updating the cast iron pipe as well.